بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I welcome you to another episode of our series As-Safaratul Kiram, Tajweed, the art of reciting the Quran. I am your host Abu Ammar Yasir Qadhi. Now every Muslim knows, and in fact he boasts about the fact that the Quran has been preserved unlike any other religious book. And he has every right to be boastful of this, because it is the truth. However, not many people know the history of the compilation of the Quran. So in today's introduction, and in the introduction to the next few episodes, we will try to summarize a very brief, an outline if you like, history of how the Quran was preserved. We know that Allah Azza wa Jal Himself has taken the responsibility of preserving the Quran. Allah says in Surah Al-Hijr verse 9, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We are the ones who have revealed the dhikr, the remembrance, and we will of a surety guard it and preserve it. So when you examine the history of the preservation of the Quran, don't be surprised to find that it has been preserved in the utmost fashion. No other religious book, no other historical book can claim such preservation as the Quran. Initially, the Arabs of the time of the Prophet ﷺ were not very much literate. In fact, they were very illiterate. They did not know how to read and write. In fact, some books of history even mention that only 15 to 20 people could actually read and write in the city of Mecca before the time of Islam. And the Prophet ﷺ himself, as you know, was illiterate. He could not read and write. In fact, the Quran itself talks of the Prophet ﷺ as being an-Nabi al-Ummi, meaning the unlettered Prophet, the Prophet who cannot read and write. And by the way, as a side point, this is in fact a praise for the Prophet ﷺ in many ways. The first way is that despite the fact that he was illiterate, he came forth with the Quran, showing you that it could not be of his own doing. When he brings the Quran, and he is an illiterate person, and the beauty and the power and the majesty of the Quran is so strong, so apparent, where did it come from? It could not be from an illiterate person. So this is the first way of praising it, that this is a miraculous thing. Secondly, what is the purpose of reading, of literacy? It is to learn, right? The primary purpose, why do you learn? Why do you read? To learn. Okay, the question arises, a prophet of Allah, who has direct access to Allah Azza wa Jal, how will he learn? Through books? Of course not. The best, the greatest knowledge, the most authentic knowledge is coming down to him directly. So he has no need to read and write. Reading and writing is of no need to him because he is above this. He has direct contact with Allah Azza wa Jal. So for the case of the Prophet ﷺ being illiterate is a praise. It is a praise. He has no need for reading and writing. His knowledge is direct from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Prophet ﷺ himself could not read or write. Therefore he did not write the Quran ever in his life, because he could not write. However, it has been reported that the early Muslims of Mecca would record the Quran on written form. They would write it down. And of the earliest stories that we have is the story of the conversion of Umar ibn al-Khattab to Islam. Umar ibn al-Khattab, the famous companion, the second Khalifa, he used to be of the worst enemies to the Messenger of Allah ﷺ. One day he heard that his sister had accepted Islam, so he went out to actually kill her. He was so angry, he went out to kill her. He entered the house, and he found them reciting the Quran, and he hit his sister. It's a famous story, a long story. The sister became angry back at him and accused him of basically of not being a man enough to even know this religion, and coming and hitting a woman, his sister. So he felt very guilty, and he said, "Show me what you're reciting." She pulled out a written copy of the Quran, a mushaf. And in it was Surah Al-Taha, the beginning of Surah Al-Taha. And she said, "I cannot give this to you, you are unclean, go take a bath first." He took a bath, and he then read the Quran, and he accepted Islam. The point being that even in this early stage, there were companions writing the Quran, and there were companions reading from this mushaf, and they were teaching it to others as well. We'll continue the story of the preservation of the Quran in the next episode, but let us move on to our topic for today, the Tajweed topic. And this is the rules of Noon Sakina and Tanween. What is a Noon Sakina? It is a Noon with a Sukun on it, right? An, ban, len. It is a Noon with a Sukun on it, okay? The Noon Sakina and the Tanween. What is a Tanween? A Tanween is a double Fatha, or a double Kasra, or a double Dhamma. So a double Fatha is a An, double Kasra in, double Dhamma un. And you see that they all sound like Noon Sakina. Now, the Noon Sakina and Tanween, they are similar in these ways that depending on the letter after it, you will apply a certain rule to it. Okay? So what you do when you look at the noon sakina or the tanween, you look at the letter after the noon sakina or the tanween. Immediately, the one letter after it. And based upon that letter, you then implement a certain rule. Okay? So there are 4 rules of the noon sakina and tanween. We'll discuss them over the next few episodes. And this is a very easy topic, because it is just memorizing each letter for each rule. So if you have a certain letter after noon sakina, you will know to apply this rule, and that is it. So there are 4 rules to noon sakina and tanween. In today's episode, we will only discuss one of them, and that is the rule of idhar. The rule of idhar means clarity, something which is clear. Okay? So I like to refer to this rule as the crisp and clear rule. Meaning that when this is applied, when you apply idhar, nothing special is being done. You recite as you see. Okay? So you recite the noon sakina, you recite the tanween, and then you move on. Nothing special is done. There are 6 letters of idhar. And these are the letters of the throat. Okay, now who remembers the letters of the throat? We took this a long time ago, and remember we're building upon our tajweed shows. Who remembers the letters of the throat? There are 6 letters. They are Hamza wal ha, wal ayn wal ha, wa ghayn wal kha. It is these letters here. Hamza, ha, ayn, ha, ghayn, and kha. These are the 6 letters of the throat that come from the throat. Anytime a noon sakina or a tanween is followed by one of these 6 letters, then you pronounce crisp and clear. This is what idhar means. You pronounce the noon sakina, you pronounce the tanween, and then you move on. You do nothing special. So this is the easiest rule, because you don't do anything. The way you memorize these 6 letters is that you just remember they are the letters of the throat. That is it. These are the 6 letters of the throat. Anytime they occur, then you do not do anything special. Let us give some examples, starting off with Hamza. On the right hand side we'll have the noon sakina. On the left hand side we'll have tanween. We'll have the entire chart coming down. Noon sakina, we have here an and then addu. So we have a noon sakina followed by a hamza, which is of the letters of the throat. How do we say this? An addu, an addu. That's it. Nothing special was done. An, you pronounce it, then you move on. Addu. Same with the tanween. Shay'an idda, shay'an idda. Nothing special. The clear, crisp noon. The meaning of idhar, as we said, is clarity. Why? Because the noon of the tanween and the noon sakina, you should hear it clearly. Shay'an idda, an addu. Let us look at the examples of the ha. Al-anhar. Anhar. Noon followed by a ha. Okay? Likewise, over here, tanween. Ahaqqunhu. Ahaqqunhu. Qun. There's a tanween there, and then there's a ha. Okay? So again, nothing special. Pronounce the clear noon, the sakin noon, or the tanween, and then you move on. Let's check out the ayn. An'amta. An'am, an'a, an'a. Nothing special. Noon sakina, ayn. Likewise over here. Sami'an alima. Sami'an alima. Sami'an. That's it. Simple, clear, crisp noon, a tanween, and then you move on to the ayn. Same with the ha. Min hasana. Min hasana. You have a ha preceded by a noon sakina. And because ha is of the letters of the throat, you just move on to the ha. Min hasana. Same thing over here. You have a tanween followed by a ha. Aliman hakima. Aliman hakima. You just pronounce the noon and move on. So as I said, this is the easiest rule, because you have nothing special to do. Check out the ghains. Min ghayri. Min ghayri. The ghain preceded by a noon sakina. Again, nothing special. Over here the tanween. Qawlan ghayra. Qawlan ghayra. Noon sakina, move on. Tanween, and then move on. And the last letter of these 6 letters is the kha. Min khayr. Min khayr. Again, noon sakina followed by a kha. So you make a idhar, or you make the noon sound clearly. Likewise over here. Aliman khabira. Aliman khabira. Aliman. Make the noon, and then kha, move on. Okay, so this is the first of the 4 rules, and it's very easy because there is no special rule. All it is you pronounce the noon sakina or tanween, you make sure everybody can hear it clearly, crisp and clear. This is the rule as I like to refer to it. Crisp and clear noon. You hear the noon clearly, and then you move on to one of the 6 letters of the throat, okay? So, and remember, don't forget, this is only when the noon is silent. When the noon has a harak on it, none of this applies. Only when the noon is silent, what should you do with the noon? Should you drop it? Should you merge it? Should you put a ghunnah on it? Or should you pronounce it? Well, the rule of the idhar is that you pronounce it and you move on. You don't do anything special to it, and it's a very easy rule. And inshallah, all the rules of noon sakina and tanween are easy. With this, we will recite our surah for today, trying to implement these rules. Our surah for today is Surah Nuh. Surah Nuh, of course, is in the... Which juz is it in? Who amongst you knows? The 29th juz. And it is the 71st surah. Okay, because of the time, let me just recite and you listen, and I will quiz you on where we did what. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه أن أنذر قومك من قبل أن يأتيهم عذاب أليم. Okay, let's start off. أرسلنا نوحا. Here we have a tanween.
Yes.
After the tanween we have a what?
Hamza.
Hamza. So then? Idhar. Clear. نوحا إلى قومه. Likewise, أن أنذر. Here we have a noon sakina followed by a hamza. Same thing. Notice when I said أنذر, I did a ghunnah, because we haven't done this yet, but noon is not followed by one of the letters of tanween. Noon sakin in the noon followed by a dhal. We'll discuss that in a future episode. Likewise, min qabli, noon is sakin here, but it's not followed by the letters of idhar, so we'll do that rule later on. An ya'tiyahum, same thing. The noon is sakin followed by a ya, so we haven't covered ya, but we don't do idhar. One thing we don't do idhar. Adhabun alim. Here we have, again, idhar, because of the hamza. قال يا قوم إني لكم نذير مبين أن اعبدوا الله واتقوه وأطيعون يغفر لكم من ذنوبكم ويؤخذكم إلى أجل مسمى إن أجل الله إذا جاء لا يؤخر لو كنتم تعلمون قال رب إني دعوت قومي ليلا ونهارا فلم يزدهم دعائي إلا فرارا. That's because you're on a previous rule. Nahara, how is the alif in the naha?
It's light.
It's light. The ra, how will the alif be there?
Heavy.
Heavy. Why will it be heavy?
The
fatha on the ra. Remember we did the rules of the ra, and the same thing applies to firara. The alifs there will be heavy because of the ra. Notice also the signs of stopping. I stopped at the proper times. We have over here the jim and the suri and other signs that we did in a previous episode. So in today's episode we discussed the first of the 4 rules of the noon sakina and tanween. And that is the rule of idhar, or the rule of clarity. Clear. Crisp and clear. Anytime one of these 6 letters of the throat, the hamza, ha, ayn, ha, ghayn, kha, occurs after the noon sakina or tanween, there is nothing special that you do. You make sure everybody can hear the noon, and then you move on immediately. Inshallah, in the next episode, we'll continue with the remaining rules of the noon sakina and tanween. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi